1 2 1 2. We live. We live here with Night Views 2.0. We got
Yes, sir.
still Abdul, always joined. We're talking sports with Carlos Maswan. What's good with you, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? You already see, man. I'm in the lobby here trying to get my internet together, but we here, man. We made it. We made it. We back.
Hey, dude, he's always on location. It feels at this point now with Carlos, but we took a little hiatus because we had to retool the schedule a little bit because I always want to make sure if I'm going to set a date for especially a show with a co-host, I want to make sure it's a consistent thing. And I think Saturday nights is going to be a good night to jump in here. You know what I'm saying, and tap in with y'all. So if y'all don't know, with Night Views, we talking the latest in popular sports. That's NFL, NBA, WNBA, college. I think we probably was one of the. I'm gonna say we was pushing women's sports pretty
Oh yeah.
hardcore last year,
Oh yeah.
and people was really noticing that, and so and when we was genuine with it, we was watching the games, we was doing everything. So we're gonna keep that same energy with that. Now we're on the Night Views YouTube channel. That's gonna be the live channel that I'm gonna put all the live streams, just on my end, and I'll do clips of myself, Abdul Sports. We're on Carlos YouTube channel and Twitter, and I'm on my main Twitter account as well too. We got sports fans, so
Yes,
we're
yes,
gonna,
sir.
if y'all want to talk sports and y'all follow me on Twitter, jump in this conversation because I'm sure I'm gonna diss one of your favorite teams. I'm pretty sure at this point now. Now we was gonna lead with the biggest story of this weekend, which still is the biggest story, the NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders, but before calls get started, uh,
Mm,
we got to hit a little NBA first before we get into that crazy ending with the Clippers and Nuggets. Uh, NBA playoffs now is probably the best series. Or yeah, I would say this. I like the
yeah.
Knicks and Pistons too, but um, Nuggets Clippers was evenly matched. You had veterans on both sides. Joker is probably the best player in the world right now, but his team ain't championship level to me. But Kawhi is healthy over on the other side with Harden and everything. So it was a toss up, right? And this game was a toss up, Carlos. It came down to this
Yeah.
photo finish, game tied. Joker shoots up a shot, air balls it, and Aaron Gordon tips it in. They do a review. Uh, Series tied 2-2. Carlos, what do you think of this series? And just what are you kind of anticipating? They split the first four games, going back to let's see. I think they're going back to Denver
Denver. Yeah, they're going back to
next
Denver.
game for the big game five. What's your thoughts on this series?
So honestly, with all the series that we got going on right now, I had this one going to 7 games. So and as you see, as what we've been seeing these last couple of games, like the competitiveness between both teams, man, like it's been fun to watch. Um,
Mm.
you know, talking about these two teams, yeah, it's been fun, but with all these other teams in the first round, and my Heat included, like I think the first round, and this is just an overall statement here, I think the first round needs to go back to first team to five.
Mm.
Not make it a whole 7 game series because as you see, like there's some teams. I think today, Memphis actually made it a close one, but before that, it's been blowouts, and
Right.
you know I kind of wish we got this Denver and Clippers series later on in the playoffs. When the stakes are a little bit higher. I mean, it's playoffs; all the stakes are higher, but this is only that first round. So, but yeah, no, it's been fun to see Joker kind of maneuver around. How to because a lot of it's been all the others has stepped up a lot, and seeing
Yeah.
Kawhi back healthy as well on the other side of things, and even Harden. I feel like this is a big storyline for Harden because all the hoopla around him right now with the whole he never finishes, is he clutch, and then trying to
Yeah.
compare him to other players like that. So that's kind of where I'm at with this series. But it's been an interesting one, man, for sure.
No, for sure. Like you said, if you look at the others stepping up, I'll start with the Nuggets. I mean, it starts with the Joker, of course. He does
Yeah,
everything. 36, 21 rebounds, and 8 assists. He beasts out there, man. He knows how to use his body. He does his thing. And I think me and you, before the NBA season, this season started, we gave our little preview, and we
yeah,
was like, "Yo, Joker, he's gonna need some help because." His, I remember we kept saying this. The GM, they weren't keeping the role players that helped them win the championship a couple years ago, right?
oh, I
Like
think I
Bruce
lost you.
Brown, KCP, all those guys, right? They went and got their money somewhere else when Denver should have kept them to help out Joker, right? And so now you got Jokic. He has to get a near triple double for them to have a chance to win every game. All right, they won this on the tip end, right? And Michael Porter Jordan, uh, he's not that dude. We said this again months ago. He was like, no, you want a worthy sidekick and role players with Joker, you got to upgrade his supporting cast. Jamal Murray, 13 and 7. That's not all-star level. Like, what is he working with here? Aaron Gordon. Christian Braun stepped up, but he doesn't do that every game. You know what I'm saying? So the Joker has to do more with less, right? Russ set this game out, which Russ is a baller. I don't care what anybody says about Russell Westbrook. He's a Hall of Famer. Get off of Russell Westbrook's neck, all right? But with the Clippers, you mentioned Harden. He's had a resurgence, so this game 15, 11, and 4. More of the point guard role, but it's about Kawhi Leonard. 24 points for Kawhi Leonard. And every time he jumps up and lands, Carlos, I'm hoping this dude, I'm hoping Kawhi don't get hurt every time he jumps up. You know what I'm saying? At this
Yeah,
point, when he does that. And so he put up his numbers. Norman Powell stepped up again. You're talking about the others stepping in. Zubac. I feel the Clippers have a better roster.
yeah.
But the Nuggets have the best overall player in Joker. That's just what I think. What do you think with that?
No, I agree. I think honestly, because I was, when you're going through it, what I was really thinking, what this team kind of reminds me of is that old school Cavs team with LeBron when he came back to the Cavs and he was like, pretty much put the Cavs on his back and take them to the finals. That's what I'm getting with Joker, with what he has around him right now. Because as
Yeah.
I said, I had this series going 7, but I had the Clippers winning just because a healthy Kawhi, you never want to go against Kawhi. But then with how consistent Harden has been throughout the regular season as well for this team, it's been good. But then again, and I know I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, with Denver, I think the one everybody's sleeping on is Russell Westbrook. I think that was a great pickup for Denver,
For
and
sure.
he still has a game under his belt that is going to shape this series. I really do see him having a blowout game, to the point to where like it may shift the tides. So, but yeah, that's with this Denver team. I like I said, it reminds me of that old school like LeBron carrying, the Mo Williams and all that stuff,
Mhm.
to the finals. That's what I see here.
Yeah, but the way it's stacking up, like you're saying, because again, like I said, I think Joker's the best player, but his
Yeah.
organization kind of failed him. Well, I was mentioning before you blinked out. I was
Yeah, my
mentioning
bad.
before you get before the season. We was saying like, yo, Joker needs more help. Like this ain't
Yeah.
enough. Michael Porter Jr. He hasn't taken the next step. I mean, I like Christian Brown. Like every third game, he steps up, but Jamal Murray's not consistent All-Star level. Since like the COVID, he hasn't
Hmm.
been consistent. So it's like I see this series. It can go 7 only because of Joker, but I think Clippers are the better team
Yeah,
overall.
no, I agree with that 100%, 100%. And the thing is, we haven't really seen, on the Clipper side of things, we really haven't seen a terrific game from Harden. Like he's made a decent amount of points and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
nothing that was so impactful like a Kawhi Leonard's performance has been. So just imagine if they're hitting on all cylinders with Harden and Kawhi, like Denver's going to be like, backed up to a corner.
Any team, any game where Kawhi and Harden is on at the same time, the
Yeah,
Clippers, I think, will easily win that game
yeah,
in this series. And I mean, it can go, like I said, it can go 7 because of Joker, but I think Clippers win this series. And I say don't sleep on the Clippers, experienced veteran team against OKC second round. I'm not going to just automatically give
yeah,
that to
yeah,
OKC. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's crazy because I OKC needs to figure things out to the point to where, like, yeah, right now they're kind of on cruise control. Memphis is pretty much giving them this series. I feel like we're more worried
Yeah,
about
it's already a sweep. Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
closed it out today. Yeah,
Oh, so it's done with.
it's a
It's
wrap.
over. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So then, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I felt like with that series, it was more about like what emoji, John Morant was gonna do after what celebration he was gonna do, you know,
Well,
after scoring the ball.
since you brought up John Moran, because he's supposed to be a part of this next wave um, of NBA stars. Him, Zion, the same draft class, right? And
Yeah,
somehow they both can't get it right. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to take that next step,
yeah,
and their teams, can't get past the first round or in the playoffs. With Ja, I blame the organization. I'm not
yeah,
going to get on Zion right now. We're never going to talk about
yeah.
him until it's relevant. But with Ja Morant, I blame the organization because he had a squad a couple years ago. He just keeps getting hurt or
Yeah,
suspended. Um, and they didn't keep Dylan Brooks, who I know Dylan Brooks is a clown, but he's a good role player. The Rockets understand that now because they're paying him. Keep that talent around Ja. I don't want Ja Morant having to get 40 points for you to have a chance to win. You
yeah,
rather Ja having, guys he can trust of the others and he can take over in the fourth. That's what Ant Edwards
yeah,
has set up for him. And so, but I guess I'll pose this question because the Pelicans, they cleaned house, but they're saying, hey, we're going to build around Zion, supposedly. Then you got Ja Morant, who the guys, I mean, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, like if I'm going in a dark alley, these ain't the guys I want with me. So which side, who do you think will take that next step first? Just with as teams as is right now, Pelicans and Grizzlies right now.
I guess so. This is an interesting question because the way I'm looking at it is more as a organizational piece. I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing more movement, even though he does get suspended for like, oh, not making a weight class, not doing this, not doing that. I believe that the Pelicans are more behind Zion than the
Mm-hmm.
Grizzlies are behind John Morant. I
Mm-hmm.
would be less surprised if Memphis actually tries to trade
I
John
was going to
Morant.
ask that. Who you think? You think Ja between the two? You think Ja will get traded before Zion?
Yeah, yeah, because I honestly feel like right now with Memphis, they just don't know they don't know their identity, and
Mm-hmm.
they're trying so hard to push it to be John Morant, and it's just like John Morant. I feel like just and this is an NBA as a whole, we need to trust our veterans and let them control these young bucks how they did back in the days. Like have them show them the ropes. Bring them into the league, not just give them so much so soon, and then we see the cause of a young star getting all these the, pretty much the keys to the city in their
Mm-hmm.
first couple of seasons. So I do believe like the veterans we need to get back to that. you know um
Exactly.
but yeah, with this whole organization thing, like I honestly just looking like comparing the two, and really comparing all the other teams. There's no plan for Memphis right now. Like I don't see a
Mm-hmm.
roadmap or anything to make this team better. They're just okay at this point, and they can make it to the first round. If they stay
Yeah.
healthy. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think it's enough there for him. And they didn't give him that, or either he didn't qualify or they didn't give Ja Morant the extension
yeah,
where everyone wants that next level of pay. And I think Zion got that extension. I have to double check my numbers on that. But the
yeah,
point is that I don't think Grizzlies are fully behind Ja Morant. And they probably shouldn't be, to be quite honest. It's not equaling success,
yeah,
and it's not like, that's like a popping organization to go to. So, I mean, you have this dynamic athlete. So, again, I blame the organization actually more than Ja Morant.
oh yeah, 100%,
Um,
100%.
you get a freakish talent like that. You surround him with the veteran pieces. Again, we'll get to Minnesota in a minute because that's what they did. Again, and Edwards. Okay, we're gonna give you all the veterans. Did they give up on Cat too soon? We'll talk about that in a minute. But the point is, you got to structure this roster. The Pelicans are saying, okay, hey, we tried to give Zion some pieces, didn't really work.
Yeah,
It's debatable. So let's tear it down and let's try to rebuild with them. And I agree with what you said. I'm interested what the Pelicans will do now with this cap space and fresh room with Zion. So we'll talk more about that because he ain't in the playoffs. So we'll talk about him in the offseason
yeah,
a
yeah,
little bit more.
right, right.
But with that, like I said, the Grizz out. OKC, we'll see what happens with Denver, Clippers. We got to get on your team for a second here.
Yeah, nah,
They,
hey man, I'm
they're,
ready for
they're,
it.
they're going against what people arguably say is the best team this season, OKC or Cleveland. Cleveland, they just have nothing but shooters
Yeah,
on the team, and they do not mess around when it's like when that wave comes. Like they're one of those teams where my Lakers was playing them earlier this season. It's like once the Cavs get going, it's just a
yeah,
wave of threes and fast breaks, and it's just like, okay, they're a complete team.
yeah,
Your Heat, they fought their way like y'all do every year through the play-in, and y'all get to the
yeah,
playoffs every year.
yeah, yeah.
Minus Jimmy Butler this time. It's all on Tyler Hero. I gotta ask you, just because I mean, we're gonna be real, right? This night view is gonna be real, right? It's 3-0. The
Yeah.
Cavs gonna close this out, right? But um, y'all kind of did something new this year. You got rid of Jimmy Butler. I didn't want to commit to him for another
Right.
5 or 4 year contract, which I understand. An Asian veteran who gets injured, he's injured again right
Yeah,
now.
exactly. He proved
So
our point this year.
right, financially, I get it. Though
Yeah,
I think as is right now, Jimmy Butler and your team, you feel like you're gonna make the finals every year, right? So now he's gone.
yeah,
You got a serviceable veteran, Andrew Wiggins, who knows he's not number one.
right.
Tyler Hero, is he that number one, or you need something else? What's your assessment of your team? Because we're assuming they're going to lose this in 4 or 5 games, right?
Right.
So what now? You got rid of that veteran piece, but you cleared up some money, right? And you made the playoffs. Jimmy didn't play most of this year with y'all.
Yeah.
So what's your assessment of your Heat right now?
So honestly, I do wish we kind of we took off the pedal. I know that's very not
Mhm.
Heat culture talk of me to say. But I kind of wish we weren't in this predicament right now. I kind of wish we were more focused on the lottery pick.
So
But
not make the playoffs is what you're saying, right? That's what you would have preferred. Okay.
yeah. At this point, just because health wise and all that stuff. But what I did like of us making this play in is that it did show that Tyler Hero, for one, has improved his IQ with basketball since the start, which was one of the biggest things these last couple of years that we wanted from him, and he proved to us this year that he is an all-star. As you see, he became an all-star for the all-stars and all that stuff this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I think personally, and again, I know many will say, "Oh, you're just a Heat fan wishing,"
Well, you are.
but
Let's keep it. You are.
yeah, I am 100%, 100%, 100%. But just looking at what we cleared up, I think a lot of the pieces that we moved around to get, like for one, I think one that's locked in for many years to come for the Miami Heat is going to be Davion Mitchell. I think that was
I
the
like Davion Mitchell. I'm glad you said that first. I
yeah.
saw some. What year is he? I don't have that in my fingertips
So
here.
we got him this year. We got him this year
He's a
off of a
rookie.
trade. No, so we got him off of a trade.
Okay,
Yeah, we signed him.
so he's
And
at least like a couple year veteran. I saw some of his
yeah,
game. He's coming on. He's gotten more comfortable, and he did really good in the play in as well.
yes,
But yeah, I don't want to take your steam with that. But yeah, I like Davion Mitchell. Yeah,
yeah. So with that now, Wiggins. I personally I like Wiggins, but yes, we put him in a position that he has to be that guy, and obviously he knows he's not that guy.
he's not that guy.
So the reason why I'm bringing all this up is because there is going to be movement this offseason. There's a lot of players who are unhappy in the situations that they're in, and everyone is really sleeping on this whole KD and Sun situation. KD,
Oh man,
yeah.
I follow you. I follow you.
So KD and this whole Sun situation, he kind of brushed it under the rug with the whole we're open to trading KD. KD is very personable when it comes to stuff like this, and he's very quick to what's the word I'm looking for? I guess go after people on Twitter and the fan base.
Right. He is.
He doesn't hold his tongue at all. So since leaving Brooklyn, honestly leaving the Golden State Warriors, Miami has been circled on his list. And one of the biggest things with bringing up Wiggins is that he has something. So at that time when he was in a Golden State, Wiggins was traded to get KD to the Warriors at that point. KD has a time right now to go with Wiggins and go win a championship in Miami to prove that they two can work together. But yeah, sorry, I got people walking back here.
No, you good.
But
You good, bro.
but yeah. So I do see Miami shooting for that to getting, because really if you look at all the positions in Miami right now, that small forward position, which it was Butler at times, but Butler played small in his position. If we get a solid small forward with the development of Ware, which he's coming off his rookie season right now, Khalil Ware, Superman himself, and then Bam, and then you got Davion Mitchell, you keep Tyler Hero, and then you throw in a KD with Wiggins coming off the bench. Man, that is just the scrappiness of that team. To me, if we can pull that off, would be one of the scary things. Now,
This
realistic.
okay. Because I
Yeah.
want to throw this real quick because there's a caveat with that is that
Yeah.
KD. I mean, it will have to be via trade for you to get KD. So something has to go out, and I actually think Wiggins is your piece to go
To send
get a
him that.
KD.
Yes.
Yeah. In my opinion.
So now here is where my whole mindset is. We have a player which I find it very, very interesting with the season he had last year, and halfway through this season before we got rid of Jimmy Butler, we were using this player a lot, which was Jaquez. Jaquez last season as a rookie made some noise. So the fact usually when either Pat Riley or Eric Spoelstra sit these type of players that have a big impact in a season, usually means one, their time is numbered, or they're going to be in trade talks as an asset. So that is where I see, you can have him. You throw him in there. You throw in what's this guy's name, man? He's on my team, but he has been abysmal with the he was caught cheating or the point guard, man. What is his name, man?
Let's see. Let me look at the roster here.
Yeah.
He probably ain't even playing. If you don't remember his name, he ain't.
Yeah, he hasn't been. The thing is, he's played and it hasn't been an impact.
Rozier.
Yes, Terry Rozier, that
What
guy. The
happened
guy
to him? He fell out of the lineup.
he fell out. Well, for one, he was under indictment for
Oh.
yeah, forging his playing minutes, playing bad when he, for money and stuff like that. So he's
Oh,
under investigation. He's been under
doing
investigation this
those
whole time.
FanDuel. Okay, I see what's
Yeah,
going
yeah, yeah. So I definitely see him off the roster this offseason. So
on.
in other words, to make this, long story that I just created right now, we're gonna be in the market looking for a shark. We're not looking for whales anymore. We're looking for some sharks, and we're gonna make some
Mm.
moves this offseason. But it's gonna be
Yeah,
a big shakeup
I
for Miami.
think looking at the structure of the team, like I said, I mean, hey, Hero, he's an asset, right? He
Yeah,
played good on your finals run, well, especially the first finals runs against my Lakers.
yeah.
Hero almost took us out, him and Jimmy together. Like it was like a
His rookie
crazy
season, by
tandem.
the way. His rookie season,
Yeah,
by the way.
he showed a lot of guts in that run during the bubble, right? And so
Yeah,
I was like, okay, this kid got something. Like I never underestimated Hero, but I knew he wasn't a number one.
right.
Like we gotta know our role, and he could be a good sidekick. Or I mean, I think he's better. I try to compare, right? You look at like Austin Reeves. Austin
Yeah,
Reeves is a very good number three, right? He's very
yeah,
comfortable being number three. Hero's better than that, right?
yeah.
Hero's better than an Austin Reeves. So you get a true, like, I mean, when Jimmy's playing like he's supposed to at those years, Hero could fit right in. I could be the sidekick and I can explode one game on you too.
His
So
name is
you
Boy
get
Wonder,
a
man.
KD. Exactly. That's a Robin. That's a Batman and
Yeah,
Robin thing. So you
yeah,
get a
yeah.
KD, a higher mercenary, right? KD, he knows what he is, right? He says, yo, okay, I can't win with Russ. I can win with Steph Curry, right? He goes and goes to 3 straight finals, blows his Achilles. They would have won 3 straight. You partner with Kyrie. Kyrie got the juice, but then Kyrie went through his thing. We
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
understand. Phoenix, we understand organizationally, they messed all that up. They never should have got Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
If you didn't want Chris Paul as your point guard, you should have went out, got a younger point guard or something. You should have did something better. KD is there. I'm here. KD's like, I'm here to hoop. Just give me the ball. I'm gonna give you 25 a game easily. If I snap, you get 30 plus.
Yep.
Every game. So you put him, because I think right now, as before we move on from this, KD, I could see him first. The Mavericks really want him. They really want him
Yeah.
to partner
Yeah.
with AD. Because they had to remix that thing. Somehow they gave my team Luka Doncic. I will take it.
I
But
till this day I don't understand that trade. The
hey,
GM said I didn't think Luka was loved that much in Dallas. Like
that's
I
like
don't know what he's smoking, dude. But like, are you
that's
kidding
every
me?
generation of like my Lakers fans. Like as far as back as I can remember, like I grew up watching Magic Johnson. Right, that's how blessed I am as a Lakers fan. Right, I grew up with the greatest point guard ever leading my team. And then it's like, okay, he has to lead next generation. Oh, let's get the most dominant center ever, Shaq. And we
Yeah.
just find Kobe. Like, what are we doing, right? Oh, LeBron, you want to just come over here? Cool, we'll take you.
Yeah.
With AD and win another chance. So that's my life, right, as a Lakers fan. But so we get Doncic, but Dallas really wants KD.
Yeah.
But I do think he wanted to go, I think, to the Heat this year. Just something didn't work out with the Bill. The Bill contract kind of blocked that.
Yeah, yeah.
His no trade clause, because they definitely wanted to make some kind of deal and get KD to the Heat. So that's going to be interesting with this roster as is. You got to keep Bam.
Yes.
Hero for sure, because Bam does everything, right? Hero's great, and I think you could package. I think I don't know if you have to parlay. I mean, Rozier has to go.
Yes.
And I think Wiggins has to be.
Speaking of parlays, yeah, he got to go.
Right. Bad choice of words, right? Because Wiggins gets about 20, 30 million a year. So you got to package
Yeah.
him out of there.
And believe it or
With
not,
that.
Duncan Robinson is a big contract
That's
on
another
our
piece.
slate. That as a coming off the bench shooter, I think he would be great on any other team. I mean, it'll hurt me because I am a fan of Duncan, but I think it's time
I mean,
we move
this
forward
low
from
key
that.
your package right here. You got Rozier, you
Yeah.
got Jaime,
Mm.
Duncan, and then you throw in Wiggins for the contract.
Yep.
That's your deal right there to get
KD.
and you got to probably throw your picks in there, for a year or two, and you get KD, and you got your big three
Yep.
automatically right there, and I think they can make some noise for sure in the East. So we'll see what your Heat, but right now it's not about your Heat, it's about the Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
they are playing, they're clicking on all cylinders. Their others are stepping up as well. But
This
yeah.
is what I will say about the Cavs. The Cavs, we've seen this story before. I need to see them when the light is brightest if they are going to show up. Because last year they were playing this good against the Knicks was it the second round of the playoffs?
I think
And
it was the second round. Yeah. Well,
second or
was it the
third
Knicks?
was
I know the Cavs played against they played against the Magic last year, and then
I think it was the Knicks.
maybe it was the Knicks or either the Knicks or Celtics. But they flamed out second round pretty hard.
Yeah, and Donovan Mitchell was nowhere to be found at some points.
Yeah.
It looked like he kind of gave up. I need to see a consistent all the way till you get to that. You're the number one seed right now, right? You gotta show us that you're that team. You gotta
Mhm.
show it to us. And honestly, this is right here. This is on. So a lot of people talk about how Harden isn't that clutch player. You know, I feel like this conversation is for some reason has always been shunned or not spoken about enough from Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell has almost been that non-clutch player since Utah with Gobert
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and he's always it's always at that big moment where he just kind of gets into his shell and you know he just doesn't show up. So
Mhm.
that's what I feel about this Cavs team. They just need to prove it to us that they're that
I
team.
I feel you when you say like are they really like Cavs? Yeah, really. 'Cause I look at the
Yeah,
Knicks like that too. It's like
yeah,
you got Cat. Like, I really Brunson's a baller. Brunson, he plays so hard. He gets himself hurt every playoffs. Like at this
yeah,
point, like but he's gonna go and and play for it. Donovan Mitchell, like this game, he ends up getting just 13. I know it's a blowout, but still, it's just like
yeah,
DeAndre Hunter steps in again. Cavs has a complete team. That's what's
yes,
making them. But when you run into like a Boston Celtics, which I think everyone can still agree, they're probably
oh yeah,
pound for pound the best talented team. Boston
yeah.
Celtics
As
one
a
through
Heat
five is
fan, it
ridiculous.
hurts me to admit that, but yes,
Yeah, no,
Boston,
their squad is ridiculous. And then you got
yeah,
guys coming off the bench. Pritchard, he can hit you with like 4 or 5 threes a game.
White, yeah,
It's kind of crazy what the Celtics got going on right now. It's just that their alpha Tatum, we still can't like take him that seriously. Like for some reason,
don't
like
call that man
I,
an alpha, man. Come
I
on,
don't.
man.
That's
Come
what I'm saying.
on,
I don't
come
trust.
on.
That's the point. Like I don't trust him. Like Jalen
Uh,
Brown, he knows like okay, Tatum's shrinking. Okay, and that's the luxury the Celtics have. They have two, big dogs basically. And if Tatum shrinks, Jalen Brown's right there, Finals MVP, right?
yeah,
So not fair. And Porzingis is healthy this year, not fair. He wasn't healthy last year, and they won the championship. So Cavs against the Celtics, I'm easily picking the Celtics if it comes down to that.
yeah.
No one trusts the Knicks. You got the Bucks and Pacers like having a mid off. I
That
love
now,
Giannis and Antetokounmpo, But
Yeah,
man.
I think honestly that's another team that is about to blow up this offseason, which hey, a
Who?
lot of people are counting out Miami. Bucks. Bucks.
Okay, yeah.
They're counting out Miami, but a lot of these free agents, they got Miami circled on there, believe it or not. I'm telling you.
Hey, hey. Um, I'm just saying, like, if the Bucks get bounced this first round, and if I'm Giannis, because like Giannis is my favorite player, like in the game.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
watch though the Lakers is my team. Like I watch everyone. Giannis, he just plays the way I want to see the game. Him and Joker, right?
Hmm.
Uh, Giannis, he has to look around and be like, okay, like what do I got enough weapons next to me here? Like I'm seeing, Celtics. If your guys, your Heat, if you get KD, Giannis is like, hold on, I need to. Or yeah, Giannis may want to go to the Heat before KD
Yeah,
gets there. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So it's like
Giannis may
someone's
want to
gonna
go
go
play
to
with Jimmy
Dallas.
Butler and Steph Curry.
Yeah, someone's gonna go to Dallas. Someone's gonna go to the Heat this offseason. I
If
guarantee you.
Giannis ends up on the Warriors, they need to shut down the NBA. Like honestly, that's not
Oh,
fair.
if
That's
he
not
goes
fair.
to the Warriors, so they locked in Butler, but they could trade Kaminga and some other pieces
Yeah.
and pull that off. To give Steph one last shot to get one or two more championships. Uh, Giannis has to. If we're talking about just the Bucks in itself,
Yeah, yeah.
you as an organ again. I'm blaming the organization. You don't get rid of pieces like Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is like your perfect role player who can guard the best guard on any other team, and
Yeah.
he improved his shot over the years too. I don't know how he became underrated, but it's like you Bucks, you won a championship with them, and you're like, oh yeah, we want to do some flashy thing with Dame Lillard. Lillard's not known for his defense at all,
Mm-mm.
and you gave the Celtics that championship, giving them Drew Holiday.
The the
At that
the
point.
biggest or I would say the craziest move that was never done by the Bucks was that move exactly there. They got rid of Drew Holiday. In my book, I would have kept Drew Holiday, traded Lopez for Porzingis, and
Mm.
instead Celtics got Porzingis and Drew
Rest
Holiday.
is history.
Honestly, yeah, the rest is history.
I mean, and I think because like I said, Porzingis, he wasn't even healthy really last year, and I think Drew Holiday was the difference, and Derek
Yeah,
White. I mean, 1 through 5, 1 through 7, the Celtics is nuts.
yeah,
And this year with a healthy Porzingis, I think that's going to give them another title. I'm just going to say it right now. I think the Celtics are going to win it again because I'm just going off just pure talent,
yeah,
just
yeah. No,
overall.
100%.
Whoever comes out of the West, I don't think you're matching up with this Celtics team. Like, it's not fair. It's really not fair what they got going on there. But just for the sake of it, we'll talk about matchups. I'm not even going to touch that. With tomorrow, you got Celtics Magic. I like Orlando. I like Orlando Magic's team.
They need
I
more veterans, man.
I like this team. I like what they got with Banchero and Franz Wagner. I like what they're doing. It just, they're a year or two before, they need a real point guard on their team. They need
Yeah,
probably more shooting, more veterans on the team. So I'm not even going to talk much about this. We know the Celtics are the better team. They lost that
yeah,
last game by 2 points off of a little fluke, in my opinion. But
yeah.
yeah, Celtics are much better than them. And but yeah, go Magic. Um, let's get on my 3-6 matchup, Lakers T-Wolves, which I think this can go 7.
I
And
had it
Edwards.
going 7. Yeah, I had it
And
going 7.
Edwards is another one. When I say like some of my favorite players, and Edwards, I like him as a player, but I have a little problem with him. So, and Edwards, very talented, very talented. He
Yeah,
can turn it on anytime he wants. He can lock down on defense when he wants. But I'm just like, it's something not quite there because we've seen
yes,
this. We've
yeah.
seen this with Ant Edwards last year. We was like, oh, he's ascending, and
And
then he
then,
like
yep,
just decides to shrink. Like it's out of nowhere. It's out of nowhere where he lets the other team figure him out. In a long series, he gets figured out.
Yeah.
And when you think of the greats, right? When LeBron was in his prime, once he figured out LeBron, he will figure it out. LeBron's past his prime now. We understand that. But Kobe, Jordan, you think of the greats.
Yeah.
You don't figure them out for a series. And Ant gets solved every year, like for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like him, but he can easily get coached out.
It's crazy because it shows his
Maturity, maybe?
yeah, immaturity.
Yeah.
It shows.
Immature, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which like what's crazy about that is because when you equate it to the stuff he got going on with his life, right? Where he has his baby mama drama and all that stuff. He's almost treating basketball like that. And it's like when you are an NBA basketball player, the first thing in your mind should be hooping. And you can never have
Yeah.
a day where you come into work and you're just like, I don't feel like really working today. I'm gonna pass the ball a couple times, shoot the ball. No, you need to be ready to attack.
Yeah.
And
If
as
you
a Lakers
if
fan,
you that guy, right.
like as a Lakers fan that you have that Kobe mentality, which is I'm taking over every game, even if it's a scrimmage.
It's that Mamba. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that is what.
Side note, because Kobe was in court for an assault case, a sexual assault case.
That's why I brought up Kobe.
He flew from court to the game and dropped 40 and hit a game winner. I'm just saying, it's a Mamba mentality. That's all.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. D Wade in the finals against the Thunder, he was taking care of issues of trying to get custody of his kids and dealing with his baby mama at that point. He came in. That's when he had the vintage D Wade game where he dunked on Kendrick Perkins. He did the spin move and dunked on him. That was, so it's like stuff like that. You need to, as a player, especially a caliber player that Anthony Edwards is, you would think he would be more consistent in that. And
shout out D Wade real quick, because I don't think people realize. Like I know Jordan's the greatest, Kobe is like the next. Yeah, you gotta argue D Wade's right there, right after Kobe, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. 100. No, hey, I appreciate you because 100%. I agree with that, man. Now he don't get the, but you see, that's just the type of player he is. He's not gonna go out there and be like, oh, I am the best, because he already proved that he was. He showed you what type of player he is. He's not like a Paul Pierce who's going to sit here and talk all this smack for no reason when Paul Pierce only won one championship,
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. yeah. That's neither here or there. I just had to throw some shade on some Paul Pierce.
We hate the Celtics over here on Night Views. Let's let everybody know. The Celtics.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So with Anthony Edwards though, on a real, I think he needs to just show it to us and prove to us. Same like the Cavs, how like Donovan Mitchell, that team needs to prove it to us. We've seen this before, but this is only the first round. Are you going to shrink in the second round? Are you going to shrink in the third round? Like, what's going on? So
he's going to shrink next game. There you go. By how this is going, as much as I like his game, people, he's the next Jordan. Nah, he shrunk. He shrunk. Like when Jordan, see, that's what people don't realize. Like, and again, I kind of caught up with Jordan's legacy after the fact, but I realized that was a different animal with Michael Jordan. Like he was going at Larry Bird and the greatest Celtics team ever, dropping 60 on him. Okay, that's what Jordan did. You talking about Ant Edwards? Don't just give me like 140 game per series. No, I want multiples back to back, and that's what Wade did in his first finals run. Yeah, Wade did back to back games like that, and Ant Edwards, I don't see him doing back to back, and so
to your point real quick with Jordan was a fan at the time of the players that were this generation of LeBrons, of the this and the that, of the KDs, which was Magic, Bird, but the way he showed that was balling out against them.
Want to kill them.
Yeah, exactly. When you see Anthony Edwards, especially when he's playing against his favorite player, which is KD, not only does he shrink, but you can see the fanboy in his face. So you could see it affect his game. If you are really comparing him to Jordan, and not you, obviously, just these people,
right.
he would be attacking these players, like going at them every time, every
People
time.
are fooled. People are fooled by a couple of highlights and like, oh, he's going at
Yep.
KD because he was snapping at KD last
Yeah.
year in the playoffs. But we understand now the Suns are a flawed organization, so that's why they
Yeah.
got bounced. And now this year, they're like, oh, he's going at LeBron, he's going at Luka. It's like I like the energy, but you never string it multiple games against like worthy competition. Luka still
Or
sort
you
of
only see
owns
that. You
Ant
only see
Edwards.
that. You only see that when he
Front running.
exactly when he's already up by 20.
He's
When
a
he's up by
front
20,
runner.
then all of a sudden he's talking all the smack.
Yeah.
But when it's still that
See,
1-on-1, 0-0, like you don't see that.
I saw Kobe down 20
Yeah.
talking crap, slapping the backboard, slapping the ground like, let's go, mama mentality. And he comes back and beats you.
Yeah.
And has to be up by 20. Oh, I'm capping.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
capping now. It's like, nah, you're not the same. You're not the
Yep.
same. And again, I like Ant Edwards. I wish he becomes that guy. I
Yeah.
hope he ascends because the NBA needs this next, you're talking about the next crop of stars. I mean, they're gonna push Luka because he's in LA, but he has to
Yeah.
win. Tatum, no one takes Tatum seriously. So it's like I can't.
It all goes back though
anything.
to that first statement we said earlier is about the vets. We need to bring the vets and let them not control,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. They had a big impact in these new players back in the days
Yeah.
compared to what they do now. Now it's like, man, who's this old dude talking to me? When really you should be listening and spitting that game.
That's on the organization. Overall,
Yes, sir.
it comes down to, I think, when these championships in the NBA and, when we talk about the NFL organization choices, we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to start realizing it's the better organizations that's winning. Like when we look back at that Bulls team, if you watch The Last Dance, they didn't just have the best player ever. They didn't just have the best sidekick ever, the best defender ever, and the Dennis Rodman, the rebounder. They had the best organization probably ever. How they structured those contracts, so you need all those pieces. When my Lakers with Kobe and Shaq, yeah, we had Kobe and Shaq, but we had some of the best role players ever: Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, Rick Fox.
Rick Fox,
this stuff matters. The best coach, arguably ever, Phil Jackson. So. Because he let him smoke weed all the time. But it's like, so it's like, but it's just, you can't just say, oh, I'm just the best player and this and that. And like Heat culture, you used to your Heat culture. So y'all believe y'all can make it to the finals every year because of that culture. But now you got to get that 1A star. You got to have your 1A star.
Yep.
And then
but then again, with that, also it's like we had the UDs. You have the Alonzo Mourning in the organization, that vet, that talks to the team every time, and so it goes down to the organization.
It's a formula. It's a formula there, and like I said, with your Heat, y'all looking for that 1A star again. I mean, Jimmy, y'all didn't want to commit to him. Because again, we see why he can't get through this series. He's there with the Warriors right now, so it makes sense, right? Pat Riley's never wrong. I mean, I know I made my jokes. I know you got mad. Some Heat fans got mad, but it's like I comment on the narratives, and I was Riley, I was like, you're playing a dangerous game here, Riley. Like when I never doubt Pat Riley though. When he bucked that pain, Jimmy 4 or 5 years more. It was a reason. It was a reason. And he was like, Jimmy, just come back for 3, bro. Like, really. Like, you're not – that's what Riley was trying to tell him. You're not him anymore, okay? Like, I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3 years, $30 million, right? And you can top off here, and then you're kind of done after that. That's what Riley was trying to tell him. And, what I'm saying, they got personal with Jimmy Butler. It's like, whatever. Now we see – the Warriors right now, they're fending for their lives right now because Jimmy can't suit up. So I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, that just don't doubt Riley.
It's a trend, though, And what's crazy is that not many of us at the time saw this trend with Jimmy Butler. Pat Riley thinks 10 steps ahead every time. So if he's coming to you with something, it's because he sees what's going to happen, and unfortunately, look what happened.
I mean, you look at hindsight, Pat Riley's decisions, right? And we're
Yeah,
talking like post, when he gets to Miami, he does the Wade team, gets Shaq.
yeah.
Shaq, I'm not going after they win a championship. Shaq, after they couldn't defend that title, and you know this with your Heat. After that Wade
Mm-hmm.
title, they bombed that next season, right?
Yep.
And Riley's like, Shaq, I'm not going to pay you anymore. Like,
Yep.
this runs over, right? We got a title. You promised a title, big fella. You did it. Hey, I'll give you 20, but I'm not going to overpay for you, right? And
Yep.
Shaq, so I think Phoenix Suns after that, and then he bounces around to the Cavs and he does some crazy.
Yeah, he was that was the downfall. That Phoenix Suns run was the downfall of Shaq's career right there.
But Riley knew, like, I'm not going to overpay for you guys, right? And so
Right.
he figures out to get the big three there because that was Riley. That wasn't anyone else but Pat Riley.
Yeah.
LeBron,
All Mickey Arison did was just sign the checks.
like, come on now, right? And he saw, hey, we can. And then he realized Wade was running out of steam, and he's like, LeBron, I'm not going to overpay for you,
Yeah.
which is insane. You're like, LeBron, I'm not going to overpay for you because I know I got to flip this team now because Wade's done, right? LeBron, you can leave. Like, there's a door right there. Like, LeBron leaves, and what does Riley do? He flips the team, gets the Jimmy Butler era. Y'all make it to the finals twice. Like, I'm just saying,
what's crazy about
matter.
Yeah, what's crazy about that is that he actually put all his chips on Chris Bosh before he got his blood clots. He had signed Chris Bosh for 5 years, and gave him his money, and we actually, before he got the blood clots, we made it. We were I think second seed or whatnot.
That's when you had Whiteside. Was it Whiteside? What's his name?
Yeah. We had Whiteside. We had Bosh. We still had Dragic. That was like the first time we got Dragic, and
Dragic was pro level.
We had a lethal team with D Wade, coming off that finals run with LeBron and stuff. So we that's when Chris Bosh was looking like Toronto Chris Bosh. Before the blood clots. But
that's what Riley was like. Yeah, I'm gonna pay Bosh because like we can do this next run with him. That set you back a couple of years.
We actually had signed Joe Johnson at that time as well.
Yeah.
Which that was a fun team to watch, man. That was a fun team to watch.
Scrappy team. That's that Heat culture, and that's the point we're trying to make. Organization. Even if I have my favorites, and I could be biased, and you already know Carlos is very biased with his teams, but I try to bring it back to a fair conversation overall, where recognize the real organization. That's why it's like, even though I'm a Lakers fan, I know the Celtics is the most talented team in the league right now, and I would not bet against them right now. So interesting stuff with the NBA. We're gonna definitely have a plenty to talk about in the NBA playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, let's transition because the first story we was going to touch on that I didn't get a chance to touch on.
Man,
Dad of the Year, Deion Sanders. Hate all you want out there. Both his boys, if you want to count his son, he claims Travis Hunt. All three of his sons are in the NFL. Shedeur Sanders, that whole situation. Well, first off, we're gonna go through the draft situation, but first off, shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars because, as I said,
man,
start playing with them on Madden now because you got Travis Hunter and you revamp your team to around this star right here. They got a lot of swag in Jacksonville right now with Travis Hunter, and they said he's going to play both sides of the ball. That's going to be very fun to watch next season in NFL, right? So that's one thing. But then the story became about Shedeur Sanders. Again, we'll get more into the specifics of the draft itself, but the big story was Shedeur sliding to the 5th round, 144th pick overall, when before the combine happened for the draft, people arguably said he was the best quarterback, even in front of your Miami guy, Miami of Florida.
Cam Ward.
It was a 1A, 1B conversation all year. And at the end of the day, I will say when chips are down, because you know this. I think you know that. I watch all of Cam Ward's games,
Yeah.
and I was like, at the end of the day, he has the most talented arm. Like Cam Ward, if you want like a Patrick Mahomes type guy where he can throw it sidearm, he can do it. That's Cam Ward. That's Cam Ward. Like as great as Shedeur's instincts is and everything, he doesn't have that little extra juice, right? That Cam Ward. So I understood why Cam Ward was the number one pick of the draft, right? After that, you teams out there that needed a quarterback, right? And just off the top of my head, it was the Browns, and the Browns did pick him, but Browns, Saints, Steelers, Seahawks needed a backup plan. Raiders just needed again a backup plan because they got Geno now. So you got about 5 or 6 teams. You needed a quarterback, and you had arguably 1B in this draft, and you played games in this draft. Let's speak on that, the Shedeur angle, because a side note is his brother Shiloh, the safety, got picked up by the Buccaneers. Congrats, they need defense. Yeah. So I think he's going to make that roster.
That's a great defensive team for him to be a part of. Yeah.
That is a great pickup. And I'm happy for the family. But shame on these teams because Shedeur said, I expect a good organization. Like Eli Manning said this 20 years ago, right? That's probably one of the first drafts I sat down and really watched. Eli Manning, and he got his dad Archie up there saying, hey, I don't want him to go to the Chargers. The Chargers never win, which is true. And he said, Eli, because Chargers had the first pick of this draft, if people don't realize this. Eli Manning coming out of Mississippi, Eli is splitting image of his dad and brother, and he's tearing it up. He's the best quarterback, best instincts. And Eli, the Hall of Famer, he's him, right? We're not even fronting on what Eli did. He beat Brady twice. Chargers was going to pick Eli first. His dad said, we don't want him to play for that organization. This is very public, right? I saw this in real time.
Yep.
The Chargers drafted Eli. Eli had the fakest smile ever. If you go to the YouTube clips, he hated that the Chargers drafted him. Then he gets traded later. The Giants draft Phillip Rivers. They swapped Phillip Rivers with the Chargers. Phillip Rivers had a good run. He gave him a chance. They could never beat Tom Brady. Eli goes to the Giants. He beats Tom Brady. That's the moral of that story. Eli was a better quarterback. But he forced his way to a better organization. Shedeur, this is something different. I'm going to get you to speak on this too, but Shedeur is a different situation here. And I think this is what there's a lot of nuances that people are missing, but there's also people are being ignorant about several things in this situation. We are in the NIL era.
Yes.
That's one thing.
Speak on that, bro. Speak on that, bro.
That's just one thing, right?
Yes.
You saw that with Caleb Williams last year. That's one thing. Caleb could have pulled an Eli last year, but he said, I'm going to go to the Bears. Thankfully, we got our quarterback.
Yeah.
But on top of that, what else that Shedeur has? He has generational wealth. His dad is Deion Sanders, the greatest athlete ever in the NFL history. So he got those genes, and he studied under one of the greatest ever. He played both sides of the ball too. That's why Travis Hunter followed him, and as a coach. So Shedeur doesn't need anything from any of you NFL teams. That's what messed their head up.
Yep.
Shedeur's like, first off, I'm born into money, and then I got money NIL as well. He had several contracts, got the watch contract and everything. So he's saying, I don't want to play for no bums.
100%
in the NFL. And I hurt feelings. I heard a lot of rich billionaires' feelings, owners out there. You got in y'all feelings. It's like, we're going to teach Shedeur a lesson. We need a quarterback. We're not going to draft him. I'm going to end my initial statement with this. I want to get Carlos' thoughts on this. But I'm going to say there is, for the next generation, There is a curse on the Saints, on the Steelers,
Yep.
uh, on it almost was the Browns, but y'all smartened up eventually.
Nah,
Any
but
team that needed a quarterback,
yeah.
shame on you for trying to, let's stick it to him. You stuck it to yourselves. Go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, seeing the Jets had the number 7th pick and didn't go after a
Yeah.
quarterback, that to me is ridiculous. But to your point, real quick, you talk about generational wealth. You talk about the NIL deal. This man was able, between him and his brother, to buy, mind you, Deion Sanders, who has the money, was able to buy him as a gift for all he's done for his sons. Both of his sons was able to buy him a new house off of these NIL deals and the money that he has because of the family wealth that you spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
So he, to your point, he does not need any of these teams of sort of whatnot. My issue with and I'm happy that he's actually picked. My issue is there is no way, and you talked about before I start jumping around here. You talked about how Cam Ward is, he felt to the Titans number 1 pick. You got Travis Hunter as a number 2, A Carter, then you got Campbell. That 5th spot that the Browns have, that is a reasonable, and it makes sense to have Saunders, Shedeur, be picked as that 5th spot as the QB.
Yeah.
Not going after a DT. No. Like, what are you doing? First of all, Browns, your current quarterback is so busy getting massages, he ain't even on the field, right? And you have, again, this generational talented player, right? That I say all this did right now for him. And shout out to Shedeur and the Sanders family. They actually are suing the NFL for this. It was just dropped today.
Are you
After he got
serious?
drafted. Yeah, oh yeah, they're suing the NFL. It literally after he got picked up by the Browns, I think it was about an hour or two later. I think you could actually look it up. They filed to sue against the NFL for this because he got blackballed. Let's call a spade a spade. He got blackballed. And on top of that, with the issues that Deion Sanders had when he was in the league and so on and so forth, the NFL has always, as much love as they show Deion Sanders, they've always had issues with Deion Sanders as well.
Yep.
So this was just an icing on the cake. That's like, well, your son's going to come in here on our rules, not your rules. And they learned the hard way that does not work. So, Shedeur, all I'm saying is, to all these teams, you know what, man? I ain't even going to go as far as Wasil did. I ain't going to wish them all bad.
Curse. No. Steelers, Saints. We'll throw the Jets in there too. Curse.
I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now because I know for a fact the massage king himself is not touching the football field next season. All right, he's not touching the football field, and Shedeur is going to have that time to get out there and play. He is getting Rookie of the Year next year. He's going off. I'm calling it now. Y'all can call me crazy. I'm a Dolphins fan saying this. He is getting Rookie of the Year next year.
He's the best quarterback they have right now. Like, they signed back Joe Flacco. I don't know if y'all saw, because people forget, Carlos, I know Bears is my team. I'm here in Kentucky, but Bears is my team. But my second team, everyone should know, is the Colts. Flacco was with the Colts last year. And when Anthony Richardson was begging to come out of the game, it was like, okay, sit Richardson down. Let's bring in Flacco. Now, after like one half, it was like, no. Let's get Anthony Richardson back. Like, hold up.
What I will say to that, having a guy like Flacco, right, on this roster for Shedeur to learn
in the
and
QB room,
take his brain, in the QB room. That's what I'm saying. This guy has the potential to be Rookie of the Year, and I am calling that.
No, Shedeur, and we're on the same page with this. Shedeur is going to be QB1. First game of the season. They probably play around in the preseason and say, we'll see. Because Deshaun, he blew out his knee, so he's out for the whole year. Right, Deshaun Watson. And even when he comes back, Even when he can come back, they're going to cut him, right? They're
Yeah,
done with Deshaun Watson, okay?
they need to be. They need to
Flacco's
be.
arm is about done. Okay,
Yeah.
you could be a gunslinger as long as you want, but it runs. We saw with Aaron Rodgers, some of that steam starts coming off, right?
Yeah.
And Flacco, we started seeing it last year. So Flacco is not if Flacco's your day one starter, you're not serious about this season at all. Right?
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
After that, you have
Which
Kenny
it is the
Pickett
Browns.
six.
It is the Browns. It wouldn't surprise me.
You have Kenny Pickett that they traded for as a backup, I guess. We call him Kenny Pick 6 for a reason. Okay, so that's another thing. Shedeur easily is the best quarterback on this roster. Just talent alone, just accuracy alone. Again, I watched all these players this last college season. So I'm just a rare person to say, like, I've seen all of these quarterbacks play. And I say, Cam Moore's the most talented. Oh, yeah. Cam Moore, just make sure you get your old line together. Titans.
Yep.
And, just make sure he has a few weapons because Cam Ward.
Shout out to I can't say his last name, but the wide receiver for Miami who actually signed with his quarterback in Tennessee as well. So they picked him up.
Yeah.
So
Cam Ward, he's that talented, but it's by a fraction. It's by really a preference because Shedeur was making all these crazy plays as well with no O-line. If people again watch these games, Shedeur had the worst O-line probably in college history. I'm not even playing when I say this. He got hit so many times because he had no protection on his team, had no running game. This is Colorado, and Deion did great. I mean, they only got like 2 or 3 losses this past year. Did great in the Big 12. And I think Deion's going to do even greater things actually going forward because you got the transfer portal. You got you just got his swag. He's going to get people to play for Colorado. But Shedeur was really that good of a quarterback. I saw a game 2 years ago. Shedeur went head to head with Caleb Williams when he was still with UFC, and they were going back and forth throwing touchdowns. And we all knew Caleb Williams was good. We just needed a better team runner. We're good now. My Bears, we're good. We're good this year. But Shedeur would come back and try to one up Caleb Williams back and forth. It was one of the best college games I've seen 2 years ago. So you can't tell me these bums y'all was picking before Shedeur. Again, I'm eyes on you, Steelers, Saints fans. I saw them crashing out online saying, we picked this bum. I don't know what they picked at a quarterback for y'all. Any team that needed a quarterback, if you passed on Shedeur, I do wish you this curse. I'm not being nice this season. Every game I'm gonna watch because we'll be covering these games as well. And when he was like, they need a quarterback. Maybe you should have drafted the second best quarterback in the draft.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
100%. 100%. It's sad to see, man, that's like that he had to as a fan of the game and of these players, like to see a young player go through something like that. I mean, it in the long run, all he was.
I think Carlos blinked out. He'll be back in a second though, and we're going to talk about when he comes back because we want to transition because we want to get to other draft topics with the NFL. Because again, we're a fan of all these leagues. We're going to talk about all these leagues. We got Mr. J. Mr. J. Mr. J says Saints are the worst one, deserve double curse because they picked a fragile quarterback. I'm going to say curse. Now, I'm going to say Jay is a fan of the Raiders. Y'all got Geno Smith, so I'm not going to put a curse on you Raiders because you got Pete Carroll, you got Geno, he got his quarterback back, right? He like Geno, Pete Carroll and they're building something. So you didn't want to pick Shedeur with the Raiders because it would have been a little pressure. Geno gets a little weird when it gets cold, right? And so it's like he's gonna be looking over his shoulder, like, we got this Shedeur fan base. So I understand Raiders. Y'all had like a lot of chances to pick them. but I understand why y'all didn't. Saints, y'all have no quarterback. Right? Y'all have no. I don't care. Y'all have no quarterback. Steelers, y'all Mason Rudolph. Are we serious out here? Y'all trying to get Mike Tomlin fired? Not picking Shedeur. He's going to get. I'm telling you this right now.
Where did Fields go?
Fields is with the Jets, so they didn't want to get Shedeur because
that.
Like,
okay, so that makes
Fields,
sense. That makes sense. I take back what I said earlier.
No, but sort of, because it's still the Jets we're talking about. So Fields has a 2-year contract, right?
Yeah.
Guaranteed money.
Okay, so yeah.
So you could still pick Shedeur and be like, "Yo, Fields, we're gonna give you to the bye week if you then we can cut you because we know what I'm saying you got a 2-year contract." But they didn't want that pressure on. I don't think they wanted that pressure on Justin Fields. So we forgive the Jets, but Saints. Steelers, and what was the other team that just needed their quarterback and was like, oh, the Browns was them, and then they came back and picked them. Who's
on the Giants right now? Actually, that's more of a
So okay, let's talk about the Giants. So and then we want to talk because I want to talk about why we really think people passed on Shedeur, right? But with the Giants, they picked up Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback, who's kind of like a Ben Roethlisberger type of guy, and he's a stud. Jackson Dart is actually, I was watching most of his games as well when I was watching your Cam Ward and everyone else. And I was like, oh, Jackson Dart has some talent. He's not better than Shedeur Sanders. I'm just going to put it.
Not at all. Not at all.
But the Giants did sign Russell Wilson, who is only going to give you half.
Right. They got Russell.
He's just like Joe Flacco. He's going to give you up to the bye week, and then he's going to be done. And they got Jameis Winston, who will give you one game, and then you're going to wish he's not out there anymore, right? So that's what Winston. I'm
actually kind of glad Shedeur's not on that team, just because of what you just mentioned right now. Like
that's a crazy concoction right there. So they picked up Jackson Dart. So Jackson Dart knows, hey, I got a year to learn a playbook. Russell Wilson's going to play, and then when he gets hurt, Jameis Winston's going to finish the season out, and we're going to miss the playoffs. That's your future, Giants fans, okay? So with that, and we got Mr. J saying here, Tom is going to quit halfway through the season. The Steelers, they have the biggest sin in this because they had about 3 chances to just get the best quarterback on the board. And you're right.
I was about to say Dolphins should have just got him at 13.
So this was where I was at this, and let's transition to as far as why really did they pass on Shedeur? But with that, after the debacle, the first 2 nights of the NFL draft, somehow Shedeur makes it to day 3. Ridiculous, okay, just ridiculous, but okay. Fine.
144th pick.
This morning, I was like, you know what? Okay, they didn't pick him the first 3 rounds. I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs pick him or the Philadelphia Eagles pick him and be like, oh, we got you. You got a 4-year guarantee contract. Go ahead and just chill, and we'll put you in, a couple years down the line. You'll get some preseason game. I was like, we need a good organization at this point to pick him because these dumb organizations just shoot themselves in the foot. Like, oh, we're gonna show Shedeur someone who already has his money. What are you proving to him? That you're a bad GM? Like what are you? Yeah. He's saying, I don't want to be on a trash team. Reportedly in his interviews. Carlos and the viewers, Shedeur was like, and again, this is allegedly, but a certain team interviewed Shedeur, and they was like, yeah, so what do you bring to the team? And Shedeur is like, well, basically, your team need a new coach. Like, y'all need other things here. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work with y'all over here. And they're like, oh, my God, I never had an interview like this before with a player. Shedeur's like, yo.
They asked for the real answers. But
exactly.
They don't like the response.
32 teams. I'm gonna land with someone, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be your team, and that's what he was putting out there, that energy, and they felt some kind of way about it, right?
Yeah.
So with the
Also, I kind of
Browns,
want to nip something in the butt real quick because
okay,
I have
good.
been seeing this thing go around there about this whole narrative that he talks a lot of smack, but then he doesn't back it up on the field. Like, come on now.
Don't
Like,
back it up. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah,
Were they
yeah.
watching the
That
games?
that exactly my point. And that to me
Yeah.
is like they tried the you saw it in the media and you know you who deal with media when it comes to DC and all this other stuff, you know
Crack
how
this
people
guy.
like this, you know, like to spin things.
Yeah.
And they tried to make that the story on why he was drafted so low. And that is not it.
No,
This
not
man
not
balled
back it
out in
up.
college. And
This
that is what it is.
man was, again, only because of the fact Cam Ward has a livelier arm.
Yeah.
Shedeur would have easily been the number one pick in this
Yeah.
draft. Titans would have loved it. They would have built their organization around him, and they could have. And I think they're going to do, again, I think Cam's going to do great with the Titans. But so to say he didn't, what do you mean he didn't back it up? He put up numbers. What are we talking? He was feeding Travis Hunter. Everyone's loving Travis Hunter, right? How did Travis Hunter get the ball?
Thank you.
Like, it was Shedeur Sanders. So again, it's just like these narratives. And let's just keep it real. Okay, why do we think he wasn't drafted? Again, I think it was a combination. He didn't come in there saying, "Oh, like all I want is a job with the NFL. Like, I just hope I can get a job and get my mama out of, you know what I'm saying, out of the projects and everything."
He already got her out of there.
Right. He coming in here saying, "Yo, like, I'm good. I made like a couple million last year on college campus, and I think I'm the best quarterback, you know, or at least the top 3 quarterback in this draft." So where are we, like, how do you pick a Jalen Milroe from Alabama who cannot throw? Okay, I watch all these quarterbacks, so this is why I can speak on this, is that I know that Jalen Milroe cannot throw. He's a great athlete. The people say, "Oh, he's probably as fast as Lamar Jackson." That's great. You can be as fast as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can throw. Jalen Milroe cannot. And he was picked. So curse to see the Seattle Seahawks when Sam Darnold runs out of juice like he did last year with the Vikings by week 10. And you're like, "Oh, we got to put in Jalen Milroe, and he can't throw the ball." You could have had Shedeur Sanders. Curse to you. I'm throwing out curses this year on Night View. Hey, this is 2.0 Night Views. People getting curses out here. We got Jay saying the Chargers were a big dump during the time his dad knew they weren't going to do anything to help Eli. We were talking about the Eli Manning situation. And that's what Dion was saying, that he didn't want his son to go to a trash organization. Now,
it's funny because me and my dad had brought up Eli as well earlier when we were talking about this. So it's crazy times.
Why else do you think they did? Is there any other factors you think? Again, I think they felt that supposedly, Shiloh is entitled. You mentioned, he didn't back it up. I mean, he got the numbers. I don't. That's people that don't watch the games that say he didn't back it up.
Again, like I said before, to call a spade, man. I think it's just because he's Deion's son. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, straight up.
Yeah, so arrogant. Oh my goodness! Like that, you pray your quarterback is as arrogant as you say Shedeur is. You would hope, and I don't think he's as arrogant as y'all say. I think he's confident. I think he's saying,
it's a lot of he say she say stuff, know, going on there.
Shedeur's like, if I have the ball, 2-minute drill. He studied under Tom Brady. What is wrong with everyone? Like, and again, I get where Brady, he's a co-owner or like minority owner of the Raiders, and if they didn't get Geno Smith, I think they would have definitely drafted Shedeur with the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
But you got this pedigree, Shedeur Sanders putting up numbers in the HBCU college, and then he came over to Colorado, and then he it was arguably the best quarterback. People could argue he's better than Cam Ward. And he slides to the 5th round because you think he's too confident. So where was his energy when Baker Mayfield came out? He was number one pick.
Johnny Manziel.
Manziel slid, still made it the 1st round. You can't draft Shedeur, who's probably the best quarterback coming out this year, because he's confident. So you rather a quarterback that's not confident, and you want to win games. That's why I'm saying curse to these this is going to be a theme this entire season with NFL. Steelers, y'all would never win. This next generation is over. Tomlin, I would get out of the Steelers organization after this year because they did the dumbest thing. You was gifted Shedeur Sanders, 21st pick.
Yep.
Of 1st round.
To prove a point, if I was Tomlin, I'll go sign with the Browns to coach Shedeur.
I'm just saying, hey, that could be a developing story because these organizations, if this is what y'all want to say, you got the good old boys club, we got to show Shedeur and we'll really show Dion a lesson here. You don't run the NFL, bucko. Well, happy trails when you don't make the playoffs. Seahawks.
I think honestly, I think this is going to affect the way a lot of these players on when they leave college now. I see the situation doing that. But at the end of the day, I think Shedeur is like I said, I think he's going to be rookie of the year this coming year, man. I do see him just going on out. He has that chip on his shoulder. Moving forward.
He's the best quarterback in that room, and he's definitely going to make it do what it do here. Let's get through the rest of the NFL draft. I know it's a lot of talk about Shedeur, and it's going to be an ongoing thing. And I'm just saying, you teams like y'all. Hey, I'm seeing how y'all fan bases, especially you Saints fan bases. Oh my goodness, like the Saints fans are ready to crash the F out because they don't have no quarterback, and Steelers too, and no one's going to cry for you. When you get to week 4, 5, and 6, and you realize you can't throw the ball, and you could have got Shedeur, I'm just saying,
empty stadiums, bro.
Shame on us. There's gonna be no mercy. Y'all think, Shedeur's good. See, that's the thing. They thought, oh, this is gonna like break him and humble him and like buck break him and everything. Shedeur's like, no, hey, all I had to do was get in the league. Y'all done messed up. Like all I had to do was get one chance.
And then to think that that he has Dion in his ear now, just like just hyping him up every game.
Bro, imagine every week Dion being in his ear. Yo, every team passed on you, right?
Yeah.
Every single team passed on you. What you gonna do about it? Like, bro? Every week, that's gonna be his motivation. And he studied under Tom Brady. What do you think's coming to this league? This animal y'all created, man. Oh my goodness. I can't wait. This season's gonna be very interesting. I'm just saying, bro. And again, no mercy. You trash organizations. Because we, again, just like NBA, NFL, these trash organizations, you're getting exposed. I swear. Let's go through this. We got a couple of NFL draft, because all things is not Shedeur Sanders. That's going to be an ongoing story. Some good holes were plugged. Now, again, shout out to your guy. He was not talked about enough. And I think you understand because of the whole Shedeur situation. But Cam Ward, as I said, pound for pound, he has the better arm, the best arm in this draft. He goes to the Titans. Now, I'm not sure how much you're going to follow him after he left your Miami or Florida team, but
I'll be honest with you. With what my Dolphins got going on, I'm gonna be watching the Titans just because, like I said, the Titans also signed the wide receiver that played with Ward, in Miami. So it's like it's pretty much like revamping that Miami team in the NFL. So he's definitely. I love seeing him in college. He was fun to watch. So I'm definitely gonna keep a close eye on it, especially if my Dolphins are drowning in the water. So
Cam Ford, he sees the moment, and like it definitely nothing taken away from this dude. Again, I saw a lot of his snaps. He is great in the pocket. He can move the pocket.
He's very poised, very poised.
Has some arm angles that people love
Yeah.
nowadays, and not everyone has. Like, I mean, he has that rare ability to get that ball out of there. So, good pick. This was the right pick by the Titans. If you restart your organization, you got you a 1A guy right there with Cam Ward. So good stuff. And again, I know it was a sideshow with Shedeur and all this stuff, but he did his thing. Now, other teams in your AFC East, I'm not going to spend too much time on all these teams that I don't really care about. I really don't care about what the Bills did. I'm just going to be quite honest. Nothing stood out. You can stop me if a team stands out to you. I know you talk about your Dolphins.
Yeah, you can keep scrolling on that, bro. Keep scrolling.
Because they was like, oh, we got defensive line help. Okay. Yeah.
Keep scrolling.
Let's go.
We don't want to talk about the Dolphins, bro.
Now,
just keep scrolling.
I definitely want to highlight these phenom quarterbacks. This may be a series I do. I tried to do this last year with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I dropped the ball because Jaden Daniels had the greatest rookie year ever. And I didn't do this rookie series I was supposed to do last year. But anyway, second year quarterbacks now. Drake May, they're shoring up the offensive line. The new coach with Mike Vrabel, which Titan fans know is a great coach, and getting him more weapons as well. Are you part of? I'm gonna say it like this: Drake May, because last year it was about Caleb Williams, who had probably the worst coach ever. Okay, and then we cleaned that out, and then Jaden Daniels just like made magic, right? After that, it was like Drake May, Michael Penix, and people like that. You think Drake May really is that dude? I'm feeling a little. I'm feeling a little Trevor Lawrence-y with Drake May.
Yeah,
what you think?
If Belichick was still there, then yeah, I could see the potential. But I would have to see more. I didn't really see much of his games, but with the ones I did watch, he did ball out last season. But yeah, I just it goes down to that organizational thing, you know. If Bill was still there, then yeah, definitely.
Hey, Drake May, he started a level. He started a level for sure.
Yeah.
You build your team around him for sure. You got 4 or 5 years to see what you got with him. Give him more weapons. He needs a running game, and I think he'll be okay. I mean, I hate the Patriots, but I'll say that. Yeah, just low key. You mentioned the Jets earlier. They got a new coaching staff. Justin Fields. I mean, we got rid of him for a reason from my Bears. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean, Justin Fields.
I will say this though. After the season he had with the Steelers, I think he deserved this contract with the Jets, which is kind of why I'm glad they didn't go after Shedeur, just because this is his time. Like, let him have it. Let him prove himself again, and move on from that. But yeah.
He has a 2-year deal, new staff, so they can say, hey, let's see, like, are we going to extend him or do we got to draft someone next year, right? That's what's going to happen with this team. So they're in a perfect spot, actually. This is a good tryout year for Justin Fields. He did do good with the Steelers for the time he was given, but he was replaced for a reason too. So we'll see. I'm just saying, right? Overall, Lamar Jackson with the Ravens got more weapons. I'm gonna make a rule right now on night views here with Carlos. First off, shout out to everyone watching this on X Twitter. We're on my X Twitter channel. We're on the Night Views YouTube channel. Smash the like, subscribe over there on YouTube. We back Saturday nights talking to popular sports topics our way, professional, college, whatever, women's, men's. We're gonna talk about the women's in a minute here to cap this off, but make sure y'all subscribe and check out Carlos' channel as well, too. I want to make a rule for Night Views.
I got the notepad out.
So, with the Baltimore Ravens, well, I love Lamar Jackson, right? He was in college here, back here in Louisville, right in my backyard over here, right? Heisman. He goes to the pros, takes over, right? Supplants Flacco. Flacco won a Super Bowl for the Ravens. They say, get out of here. Lamar's here, right? I don't want to hear any more praise for the Baltimore Ravens until they make it to the Super Bowl. That's it. No,
I said this last season
no. We're
in
going to
Night
enact.
Views 1.0. Night
We're
Views
going to
1.0.
enact it. We're going to enact it right now. Okay. No pray like, yeah, we could do a highlight. Oh, Lamar's great. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's wait.
I was
Let's wait.
shunned. I was shunned for saying
Let's wait.
anything about
Let's wait. Well, they had Derrick Henry. I was like, oh, it's different this year, right?
man. No,
He's MVP, right? They bombed so bad in the playoffs. They was like, Lamar, we was going to give you the MVP, but nah, you lost.
Yeah.
You're going to give it to Josh Allen, which they should have. Right? Josh Allen won the MVP and Haley Steinfeld until Michael B. Jordan.
What a year! What a year for what a year for that man. After watching Sinners 2, man, what a year for that man. Shout out to
a lot
Sinners.
of trust. It's a lot of trust. Go watch Sinners. That's a little rare crossover from sports and film. Go watch Sinners. But no praise for the Baltimore Ravens until they make it to the Super Bowl. I can't do this anymore. Lamar Jackson, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback already. Okay.
Yeah.
He's Hall of Fame already. Derrick Henry, Hall of Fame running back.
They need to win.
But
point blank.
As a team, stop showing me John Harbaugh's picture in his face. He doesn't make the right decision somehow when it comes down to playoffs.
I'm gonna have to pull up some clips from Night Views 1.0 because
we're enacting right now. There's no past. There's no past. This is just future. No praise. So when the Baltimore Ravens open up the season, because they picked up some pretty actually good weapons, like their offense is going to be nuts next year. But if they go 10-0, I'm like, no, I'm telling you, and I'm only saying this, Carlos, out loud because this is going to prevent me from doing this 2 months from now, saying no, the Ravens. I'm like, no, I told Carlos, I told him. I'm not going to.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that. This is protecting
me, because Lamar's from the crib here, man. We love Lamar Jackson out here, but no,
that was my argument when we talked playoffs last season.
You got to make it to the Super Bowl. It ain't even about second round or AFC title game. No, Lamar, you got to make it to the Super Bowl. Then I will praise you. I don't care. Like, you can't get another MVP trophy. You can't get nothing until you make it to the Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. And Josh Allen, you close. I just don't really love you. But Josh Allen, you close to getting that same stigma. Just saying.
You see, the only thing that saves Josh Allen is that he doesn't have the weapons that Lamar Jackson does, in my book.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lamar has now. Lamar didn't have really weapons before.
Well, yeah.
Now he does, for sure. It was no excuse this year. Lamar should have beat the Bills in the playoffs. He should have beat this version of the Chiefs after what Jalen Hurts just did to them. Yeah, Lamar should have beat the Bills and the Chiefs. And like I said, Josh Allen, you got one more time. You got Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, hey, we gave you a pass. We're saying, be happy. You got your first MVP trophy. You come out and fail because Josh Allen may come out and win the Super Bowl this year and be like, hey, I got nothing to say. Got nothing to say to you.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah. He can go hang it up for all I care.
If he fumbles up this year, then it's gonna be on. But right now it's on Lamar because Lamar's been more accomplished, I feel, than Josh Allen. But you still ain't got no ring, man. It's about rings, man. And I don't care what y'all do. I don't care what record y'all break. If y'all don't make it to the Super Bowl, just make it to the Super Bowl. You probably lose the Super Bowl, okay? But you got to make it to the Super Bowl, bro. I cannot praise you. And Bengals, what is it? They got the edge rusher. They lost some veteran linemen.
Bengals is on that list too, bro.
You think that?
Close to it.
Bengals is fun to watch on offense. They're fun to watch with Chase and everyone they got over there with with Burrow and everyone. I'm not ready because Burrow made it to a Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
Okay,
it's a
okay, I'll
little
give you that.
different. It's a little different to be like, oh, I gotta hold. It's like, no, it's like Burrow's at the point now. He's like, oh, just get him to the playoffs, and he has a chance.
Yeah, I
He
just
has
think he
that
needs to
nod
ease off
over
on the
Lamar.
cigars. He got to ease off on the cigars. That's what he got to do, for sure, for
Feels a little
sure.
personal. It's a little personal there. Now, jumping to again the Browns again. They for some reason got a DT. Okay, yeah, that D line better eat for sure. But again, Shedeur is the best quarterback in your QB room.
So, real quick. Let's touch on this. Because with a person like Miles Garrett asking to get traded, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's
Yeah,
rebuild time. So why not
yeah.
draft Shedeur in that fifth spot there? That's what's crazy to me. You go after
Well,
DT what to prove a point?
they should have traded Miles. So they re-signed Miles Garrett to one of the richest contracts for a defender. Um, when Miles Garrett said, I want out, they should have traded him. They actually should have just traded him, got a haul
Mm-hmm.
of picks, loosen the money up and rebuild
Yep.
because you're not winning, immediately right now. Now you got a quarterback. So, okay, you got Shedeur. You almost messed that up somehow. But so now you got to make this work. Their defense better eat. That D line better be elite day one, or this is all for naught. What were we doing? Drafting the DT fifth overall. DT, if you're drafting the D, you better be Aaron Donald. Is this Mason Graham Aaron Donald? I'm pretty sure he's not. I'm just gonna go out on a limb, Carlos, and say he's not Aaron Donald level. So what was this for? Oh, we want to humble Shedeur. We want to humble our best quarterback. Dumb. Just saying. Very dumb. Very dumb with that. And I'm done with them. Steelers gets Steelers no respect. No respect for the Steelers. Nothing
Didn't
really
really.
major for the Texans. I mean, they
Yeah.
add another receiver. I mean, it comes down to CJ Stroud, right? CJ Stroud, you got a little exposed season 2. What are you going to do about it, right? The team started to figure you out. So, CJ Stroud, are you going to be elite level or are you going to be middle of the pack, right? I think that's what this year is for the Texans.
Yeah, I agree.
And so, we'll see. Like I say, he's a heck of a quarterback, but just all his receivers got hurt, and that was kind of tough. But
He got
as
hurt too. Yeah.
as a franchise quarterback, though, you have to make your receivers better, right? We saw Peyton do it, we saw Brady do it, right? So the greats, Lamar did it for a few years. Burrow gets the best receivers ever, and somehow he gets praised. But but I'm just saying the point. Your quarterback has to make other players better, and CJ Stroud, you faced the fire last year. Let's see what you do this year. Speaking of facing the fire, Anthony Richardson is in an open QB battle with Daniel Jones. Carlos, I want to ask you, and then people know Indianapolis, that's my second crib. I have no faith in Anthony Richardson. What do you think?
Not at all. I mean, shoot, just have him go run a lap, he might quit. Like it's done. Like this man. If I was a coach, I would have went after Shedeur too. Like
Man, that
Anthony
would have been
Richardson,
wild, right? If the Colts would have got Shedeur, like, yo,
just kick
let's
that guy
go.
out. There's people out
Yeah,
here who
with
are dying
him.
to play football, and he's just out here like, nah, I'm tired. I don't want to play right now.
So you
Crazy.
think Daniel Jones is gonna take his job?
I think so.
Man, you deserve to lose. If you let Daniel Jones take in anything,
Yeah.
right? You let Daniel Jones take your job, you deserve to be ousted. And I gotta say, Anthony Richardson, that's how Jalen Miro is gonna look. That's why I understand how Miro got drafted before Shedeur. Anthony Richardson, very talented, built like Cam Newton, but he don't got the arm like Cam Newton. Cam Newton know how to throw that ball. People gonna learn to respect Cam
Yeah.
Newton right? I don't think a lot of people really respect. Cam Newton was like one of one, a big old linebacker of a quarterback, but he had an arm. Anthony Richardson don't have an arm, and that's it's unfortunate, man. I think Daniel Jones is gonna take your food, man. That's just
Yeah,
what's
and
gonna
what's
happen,
crazy
man.
is though he can develop if he would actually put the time in and work. He can develop to get that
Yeah,
arm to where it needs to be. But you just like that whole situation that happened last season just proved to me the type of player he is. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's
No,
where I'm
yeah.
at with that.
If you ain't about putting in that work, especially like I said in Indianapolis. I mean, I remember the locals out there. Some of the best football fans, I've been around. In Indianapolis. I mean, it was a town Peyton Manning built, right? So
Yeah,
everyone heard about football because Peyton like put it on the map, and Peyton taught us, quarterbacks. You work in and out. You watch tape. You practice with your receivers. You build that culture, and it hasn't been the same, right, since Peyton left. And Anthony Richardson, man, he's the furthest thing from a Peyton Manning like this dude. Like, I'm tired. I'm tapping my helmet to come out. Like, oh my God, man. Terrible. Terrible. Colts,
the
I predict pain for the future.
the fan in me though. So we're jumping onto to Jaguars right now.
Yeah.
Is like I wish Shedeur would have went there with
With
Travis Hunter. Yeah, I
Hey,
think that would have been a storybook ending right there.
hey, Trevor Lawrence. Now, first off, okay, so Jags, first off, this is my new favorite team on Madden, right? So I gotta pre-order my Madden copy. And side note, people that follows my Sub Dual network, mostly it's geek stuff, but we're gonna slide in some gaming by the end of this year. I'm setting up my whole setup
Okay,
here. I
you
got
don't
this
want
little
it, so
studio I'm building. I'm still building some stuff in here, but we're gonna get some gaming set up in here, and we're gonna be on Twitch over there with the new Madden and the college football. So just stay tuned
we
on
might have to
that. We
do
got some game.
a night views tournament, man. That's what we might have to
I ain't for
do.
sure. Yeah, I got obviously I do the NBA 2K. I'm serious about it. Hey, I be going, with Madden. I be trying to whoop all these 12-year-olds on Madden, man. Like, I'm serious. I'm serious about this, man. So coming soon on my Twitch, Still Abdul Gaming. We're gonna have our Madden, our college football. We're gonna be whooping up these kids, man. So I won't be using the Jaguars. My point I'm trying to make here on Madden because Travis Hunter, they gotta. You already know what Madden has to do.
Yeah,
We got Travis Hunter playing both sides. We got to revamp our system now so that players can play both sides of the ball. So Travis Hunter gonna be receiver package, and he's gonna be locking up the best receiver on the other side. This is going to be an historic year just for NFL sports
yeah.
because this is. When's the last time we had a guy like I can't even think of. I mean,
Dion, yeah, I was about to
Dion,
say that. Dion, that's
right?
about it.
We're about what 30
Say
years
that,
away
right?
from that. Yeah, like Dion had
About
a
Dion.
receiver package with the Cowboys, and he would lock up your best receiver. That's what Travis Hunter's trying to do, right? So this is gonna be cool. It's funny because if you watch any tapes from Night Views 1.0, I hated the Jaguars. I hated Trevor Lawrence. I think he's overpaid. I think he's a bum. All that, right? You add Travis Hunter, and they got a good running back core backup as well. Brian Thomas Jr., the receiver, he's a really good receiver they have as well too. So you add Travis Hunter on the other side, and again you put some packages with him. You throw him on defense as well. The Jaguars is not fun to watch. I'm ready to watch the Jaguars every week
That's
now
I never
on the
thought I'd
NFL
hear
ticket.
so say that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I
This
never
is
thought I'd
fun
hear so say that. That's crazy.
because of Travis Hunter only. Now, if he gets hurt, and I'm gonna stop watching. But those are there's some of the standout teams. I'm not gonna go through all these teams. I want to get to the
Yeah,
WNBA talk as well, but nothing else really stood out. I mean, if there's anything else you can say on the top of your head, I mean, my Bears, we shored up. We got probably the best offensive weapon,
yeah,
tight end from the Michigan Wolverines. He won a title with them a couple years ago. So we add more weapons for Caleb Williams overall. And I'm trying to think of another team that I thought outside the Jaguars. I think the Giants actually did good with the draft, though they didn't get
Yeah.
Shedeur. I did like they got Abdul Carter, who is the best edge. He's the next Micah Parsons, they say. We'll see.
Hmm.
And then Jackson Dart, again, is like a Ben Roethlisberger type bully looking dude. And we'll see if he has the arm for that. Anyone else kind of stood out to you? I know you didn't like what your Dolphins did.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't for what we got. It wasn't too disappointing, but with everything that was still left on the board, it is what it is. But honestly, I'm excited to see what the Titans are going to do this season. So
yeah. So we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see with them. Final topic we want to throw again for this revamp of the night views. Usually it's ladies first, but it was just so much exciting stuff tonight. We had to hit up some other topics, but I gotta say I was very proud of our coverage. Our first run with night views with the women's sports, I think it was very fair. I think the audience they was trying to branch off to was people like us, and they got us with the Caitlin Clark, playing
Angel
like
Reese.
Steph Curry out there. Angel Reese record-breaking season, and just the elevation of the hoops. And congrats to the New York Liberty, got the title last year, and so now it's a new year, and they got the new draft, and there was some standouts from that. And like I said, first off, shout out to the ladies saying, "Yo, we're gonna treat this like a runway. Anytime we come out here, like they flexing, they got their best of the best on. It's like use that. That's what as women use that because that draws attention, that draws eyes. Y'all feel good, and there's gonna be more people watching y'all product if y'all embrace, like I said, what y'all have. And I think they did that, Carlos. I say, hey, yeah, it was some baddies, but it was some classy. They was coming out really classy last year.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it's cool that we're showing as much love as we did, obviously in the past season of Night Views, and we're gonna continue, especially with the new season starting next week, just because of the competition level, man. I gotta say, and I always say this every time I speak about the WNBA, is like sometimes watching those games is more exciting, for me sometimes just to see in the back and forth and stuff. So, but yeah, man, it's exciting that we're back with a WNBA.
So I watched the WNBA draft pretty much front to back.
Yeah.
It was after work. I think it was like a couple weeks ago, and so I was like dead tired.
Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta get my gotta get the eye tests on these new ladies coming in and what they're gonna do. And I was really impressed by a couple of picks. So we're gonna go through a few here. And this article here talking about the perfect picks of the top draft picks. And I think the first one we all know, Paige Beckers.
Shout out.
We talked about her last year, right? We was talking about UConn, and she was coming off this injury. She got bounced, I think, by Caitlin Clark last year. And then she comes back this year. Now, albeit, let's keep it real, Juju got hurt.
Yeah.
Juju got hurt, and USC was probably going to take it this year. But Juju, all prayers and thoughts to her. She's going to come back and get her things together. And, man, Juju was probably going to do it this year as a sophomore. She probably was as far as winning the college championship. But she got hurt. They lost. Okay.
Yeah.
UConn, Paige Becker, she was the next up, right? And she won the title. She had her injury a couple years ago too. So some of her fans will say, "Hey, she was next up before Caitlin Clark, and then Paige got hurt." Right? So just that's fair. Point is, she was the first.
It's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be nuts seeing these, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and Paige Becker playing in the WNBA against each other, man. It's the competition level is going to be
the competitions
crazy.
Went up, right? So first pick Paige Beckers went to the Dallas Wings, who, if people remember from
Yes.
last year's coverage. My favorite player in the WNBA is not Caitlin Clark or even Angel Reese. It's
Yep.
Arike
No.
Agubawale, who's the
Yep.
illest.
We learned that
She's
name real quick. We learned that
she's
name
the
real quick.
illest player in the WNBA, and she showed y'all last All-Star game, getting 32 in the second half of the All-Star game to beat the women's Olympic team in that WNBA All-Star game, right? So you partner her up with Paige Beckers. Let's go, right? This is going to be an
Yep.
exciting ball with the Dallas Wings.
So they actually got their first game next week against the Aces, on Friday of next week. So that's definitely a game I'm gonna be watching closely,
For sure.
and I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
Oh, that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope. Again, I think Paige, like again, people. I think Caitlin Clark is really that, right? She took the Fever to the playoffs, like her first year. Like Caitlin is that, but Paige, people were saying her and Caitlin was kind of the same level before Paige got hurt. So we'll see. We're gonna find out. That's
By
why
the way,
they
before we continue, shout out to
yeah.
the Golden State. What is
Valkyrie.
the word? Valkyrie? Yes,
Yeah.
they officially got their team this year, so that's exciting. You know, first time.
Oh,
Hopefully, we get more WNBA teams broadening out. We need one here in Miami. So, heck yeah.
the WNBA has expanded, and they got a couple ballers as well, and it's an expansion team, so they're not gonna be that good this year, but they got
Yeah.
a couple like young players to, kind of flex. But with WNBA, what I've learned real quick, really watching this past season, you gotta have a squad. Like you can't just have one or two good players. You need a complete squad to match up with the Aces and these championship level Liberty and now the Fever. The Fever is loaded now. If people watch this free agents, man, they gave Caitlin Clark, like, she got probably the best starting five in the league now, man. Like, it's not even fair what the Fever about
Facts.
to do. It's not even fair, and I'm
Nuts.
excited to see it. But also with the draft, it's a name maybe a lot of people don't know. Georgia Amore for the Washington Mystics. Now, her name is brought up because this is, first off, she's sponsored by Russell Westbrook's clothing company, and he
That's
reached
huge.
out to her, because she has a similar style. She's Miss Triple Double, so you're gonna know her name this season because she drops triple double just like Russell Westbrook, and she's with the Washington Mystic. Mystic had like 3 first-round picks, like unheard of, and they just loaded up on talent. But she was the one that kind of stood out that she's going to run the show for the team. Georgia Amore, remember that name? I'm going to bring
Georgia
it up a lot.
Amore.
Yeah, this season. Now, a lot of people think this is a baddie right here. We got Haley Van Lith. What's
I
cool
can
about
confirm.
her?
I can confirm.
Yeah, she was with the Angel Reese,
Reese. Yep.
the LSU championship team. She was a guard on that team. Then she transferred after Angel Reese left. Now, the Chicago Sky, who has Angel Reese, picks Haley Van
That's
Lith.
huge.
She
That is a
reunites
huge
with
pickup.
Angel Reese. And Angel
That's a
Reese was tweeting
huge
the whole night. She was excited to get her sis back, her guard, because Chicago Sky needs guard help. Outside of Angel Reese and Cardoso, who was with the South Carolina champion team.
Yep.
Because they ended up coming back and beating. I think they beat Caitlin Clark that next year, but South Carolina. So the front line is cool with Chicago Sky, right? You got pretty much Hall of Fame level right there. Angel Reese and Cardoso. You need some guards, so they get Haley Van Lith. I mean, you watch the Sky, probably. You watch. I think Angel Reese is kind of your favorite player you follow, right? With
Yeah.
She needs some guard help, right? So this is perfect.
Yeah. Like when the Aces traded Plum, I really wish Plum would have went to Chicago to go play with Angel Reese. But this right here, this is a nice pickup. She already knows how Angel Reese plays as well, so they kind of just fall in line. So it's cool to see, man. It's cool.
It's a nice story right there, right? And it kind of shows, Angel Reese, she already has a little sway with the Chicago. So, go and pick up my girl, go and get Van Lith over here. So that's really cool. And they still got Trinity Carter, who was really came on last year
Yeah.
as a scorer. So we're looking forward to what the Chicago Sky does because of Angel Reese. She's the big star with that team. Atlanta Dream, I'm not even going to talk too much about them. They don't have a good team. But last thing I want to bring up before we kind of phase out, because there was a pick in this draft, in this WNBA draft. I sat there, I watched all the picks. I was trying to look up all the clips of these women. I'm like, we do our research here on Night Views of everyone. There was a very interesting pick out after Paige Becker's number 2 pick for Seattle Storm, Dominique Malanga. Now, why am I highlighting this young lady here? First off, I think she's about 6'5", I believe. They're saying this is the female Wembanyama coming to the WNBA, and we got footage. We got footage of her dunking easily. She also has range with her shot as well. I think though Paige Beckers has a lot of hype, this may be the best player that was actually drafted this year.
Yep.
Again, she plays like a guard, but she's the biggest girl on the court. This is going to be scary for the W. I mean, I'm watching a lot of teams this season. Seattle Storm is on my list because of Malanga, the female Wembanyama. She's going to have a lot of ESPN coverage.
All I know is
because of her style.
All I know is YouTube TV. I'm gonna shout them out real quick. They last season what they did was they had the crunch time where they had all the 4 screens of all the different WNBA games going on, and even on YouTube as well. So this season, I hope they do the same thing because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this.
It's gonna be a lot of teams as well. Because like I said, last year I think me and you was like we were following Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
The rookie year, because we watched their college ball. And obviously, I'm gonna keep watching college because Juju, she's gonna come back strong, and we're gonna, she's gonna get her championship. I think next year or two. We follow Caitlin Clark and Andrew Reese to the WNBA, right? I wasn't watching WNBA before those ladies, right? So they brought a lot of hype, and the LA Sparks had a lot of hype. Now they got Kelsey Plum over there with Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson, and there. So it's a lot of teams to watch. The Fever. The Sparks. I'm gonna watch the Storms, Dallas. The Aces are good every year, right? So the Liberty are the champions. So it's a lot of teams to watch with the WNBA. So
exciting, man.
For sure. We're gonna be here to cover it all, the notable stories, the popular stories overall. And like I said, I was part of our women's coverage last year, because we just naturally was watching this stuff. And that's what we're going to bring, man. Saturday nights, night views, whatever's popping, man. So definitely whatever platform you're watching this on, if you're on X, Twitter, make sure you follow on that platform. On Carlos Twitter, the Night Views YouTube channel, that's going to be the place for the live streams on YouTube, or Carlos channel as well. So we're trying to hit y'all from wherever y'all watching this from, man. Support.
Yes, sir.
For sure. You mentioned WNBA, where it starts next Friday.
Yeah. Next Friday, I believe at 7.
Keep an eye on that. So next week we'll cover what the opening weekend of WNBA. We'll be talking about it. Night Views, whatever comes of the NFL free agency.
I think this is the first season they're playing with teams overseas, because I believe one of the teams is playing against Brazil. So that's something to keep an eye out as well.
So I wonder, is that preseason then next Friday?
Yes, I believe.
Okay,
I believe
it's
I believe it's preseason next week.
Let me see real quick while we're live here. We'll get the opening day. So May. Okay, so preseason will start next Friday. So we'll get some good footage.
Yeah, we got Wings, Aces, Brazil, and Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Next
and then
week.
the actual season starts mid-May. So we're a couple weeks away from the regular season, but we got some preseason action. And I definitely want to see, like, I definitely want to see Malanga. I want to see what she does.
Right,
And the
right.
free kind of stretch it out some. So very interesting stuff. We got weirdos in the comments here, but we're gonna close this one out for night views. Definitely, it's gonna be pretty fun.
What
Launching
the?
this back. I have no
What
idea.
the?
I have no idea, bro. But next Saturday we'll be here. NBA playoffs. It's gonna be very interesting as well to see how that shakes out. Any last thing you want to throw out there, calls us before we close this out? Besides that weird
Not.
comment in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, not much, man.
I
I
have
just
no
got
idea. I have no idea.
basketball season is still in effect. I got a couple leagues that I be streaming live on my platform, so follow me on YouTube when we go live. And yeah, man, a lot more stuff coming down the pipeline, and just excited, man.
Hey man, we
RTP,
back.
RTP.
We are back. Follow RTP. We're back with night views. All the popular sports topics. We're gonna be here Saturday nights, chopping it up. Y'all chime in like we had people in the comment section tonight. So pretty cool stuff. Till next time, we'll have a flashy ending. Not this time though. We out of here.